and Faulkner jurors. I decided on my 30th birthday that I would try to be a writer. And I am 64, so you do the math as to how long ago that was. But I think even then, I think even at that very beginning, if you had asked me what I wanted most, then I already knew that what I wanted most was to be respected by those writers I respected. And the most wonderful part of this incredible, wonderful award is the people who are on this stage with me. I am just so thrilled to be in your company, all of you. Thank you so much. I'm going to read a few pages from the book, which take place. Is my sound okay? It's not clear to me. After Fern is removed from the household, she lives with them until she is 5 years old, and then she is sent to live with other chimps. And I'm going to read a little bit about that. Surrounded as she was by humans, Fern believed she was human. This wasn't unexpected. Most home-raised chimps, when asked to sort photographs into piles of chimps and humans, made only the one mistake of putting their own picture into the human pile. This is exactly what Fern did. What seems not to have been anticipated was my own confusion. Dad didn't know then what we think we know now, that the neural system of a young brain develops partly by mirroring the brains around it. As much time as Fern and I spent together, that mirror went both ways. The winter after Fern vanished, and half a term late because of the tumult and turmoil at home, I started kindergarten, where my classmates called me the monkey girl, or sometimes simply the monkey. There was something off about me, maybe in my gestures, my facial expressions or eye movements, and certainly in the things I said. Years later, my father made a passing reference to the uncanny valley response, the human aversion to things that look almost, but not quite like people. The uncanny valley response is a hard thing to define, much less to test for. But if true, it explains why the faces of chimps so unsettle some of us. For the kids in my kindergarten class, I was the unsettling object. Those 5 and 6-year-olds were not fooled by the counterfeit human. I could and did quarrel with their word choice. Were they so stupid, I asked winningly, that they didn't know the difference between monkeys and apes? Didn't they know that humans were apes too? But the implication that I'd be okay with being called ape girl was all my classmates needed to stick with their original choice. And they refused to believe they were apes themselves. Their parents had assured them they weren't. I was told that a whole Sunday school class had been devoted to rebutting me. Here are some things my mother worked with me on prior to sending me off to school. Standing up straight. Keeping my hands still when I talked. Not putting my fingers into anyone else's mouth or hair. Not biting anyone ever, no matter how much the situation warranted it. Muting my excitement over tasty food and not staring fixedly at someone else's cupcake. Not jumping on the tables and desks when I was playing. I remember these things most of the time, but where you succeed will never matter so much as where you fail. Here are some things I learned only once I got to kindergarten. How to read children's faces, which are less guarded than adults, though not as expressive as chimps. That school was about being quiet, and you'd think Mom might have warned me about that. That big words do not impress children, and that grown-ups care a lot about what big words actually mean, so it's best to know that before you use one. But most of all, I learned that different is different. I could change what I did. I could change what I didn't do. None of that changed who I fundamentally was, my not quite human, my tabloid monkey girl self. I hope that Fern was doing better among her own kind than I among mine. In 2009, a study showed macaque monkeys seemingly evidencing the uncanny valley response themselves, which makes it probable for chimps. Of course, none of that was in my thinking then. For years, I imagined Fern's life as a Tarzan reversal, raised among humans and returned now to her own kind. I like to think of her bringing sign language to the other apes. I like to think that she was maybe solving crimes or something. I like to think we'd given